Introductory activity. Operations with fractions. If you have only a cup, 1/3 cup measuring cup, and the recipe calls for 20 1/3 cups of flour, how many 1/3 cups do you need to use? The approach I took, that if I see I have 1/3 and I have 20 1/3 cups, how many 1/3 cups do you need to use? So I took this fraction here, this mixed fraction here, and converted it to an improper fraction. So I said 3 times 20 is 60 plus 1, which is 61/3. So I have 61/3. So 61 scoops of the 1/3 measuring cup. So my answer is 61. Number 2 here, right? The mixed number 8 1/2 is the improper fraction. So I multiplied. 2 times 8 is 16 plus 1, which is 17. So I have 2 times 8, which is 16, plus 1 makes it 17. So I have 17 halves for my final answer. The next one is question 3. Write the improper fraction negative 61/9 as a mixed number. So here I have a fraction I'm dividing. So I divide it out. 9 goes into 61. 9 won't go into 6, but it'll go into 61 6 times. 6 times 9 is 54. And I subtract. 6 times 9 is 54. So 61 minus 54 is going to be 7. So I have 6 7/9. Okay. In this case, my final answer here is going to be a negative 6 7/9, which is what they have there. Okay. Now for this one here, we have to use some Excel to get it done. Okay, for this one here in question 4, we're going to need to add. We need to use Excel here. So I went ahead and entered them into Excel sheet. They want to know certain things there. What is the max of this particular column of numbers? They want to know what is the min, and they want to know sum. They want to know the average, and they want to know the count. So to help us here, they give us an abbreviated form here for what formulas we can enter. So let's find the max. So for the max, I'm going to put it into cell A12. So I selected cell A12 and I enter a formula equals. I start typing you notice the predefined functions come up here, and I can type in A2 colon A11 close parentheses, enter, and it gives me that value, and there's the value there, 9838. Then I can find the min, do the same thing, almost the same thing. We use a min function, so I have equals, I select it, we'll put it in A13, and that's a 13 right there. So, and I'm going to have an equal sign. Go to my formula bar, equal sign, and I go ahead and I start typing MI, and there's the min function there. I can click in and pre-fills it for me, and then I type A2 colon A11 close parentheses, and I hit enter, and watch what happens here when I hit enter. 13.25 for that one. For the next one is sum, so I use a sum function here. I'm going to put that into A14. So A14 is selected. So go to my formula bar and I hit equals, and I'm going to do equals, and I start typing SU, and there's this predefined function there, sum, and I'm going to have A2 colon A11 close parentheses. And look what happens when I look at A14 now. 601.76. Then for the next one, we want us to find the average, and I'm going to put the average in the A15. So I go up to my formula bar and I hit equals. And I hit equals. And then I start typing AV, and there you see predefined function for average. Click on it, and then I put in A2 colon A11 close parentheses, enter, and it gives me that value there, 60.176. And the last one they have here, the count, how many cells are occupied in that in between A2 and A11, and we'll put that value there. Okay, then I go to my formula bar and I hit equals. And I start typing COU, and there's count there. Click on it, and I have typing A2 colon A11 close parentheses, enter. Notice how it selects the cells I'll be using in each formula. So in A12 here, if I click on A12, it shows me what cells it's using. Okay, I'll change it a little bit. Let's see if we can fix that. A2 colon A11 close parentheses, and that gives me the max function. There, fixed. Alright, and that's how you go about doing that question number 4. Let's go on to question number 5. Number 5 here, identify the fractions labeled with the letters A and B. Okay. So we have, they give us a 0 there. And we see where our -1 is. Alright. So we have a 0 and -1. And we have tick marks. So how many spaces, how is it divided between 0 and -1? Well, it's divided into 1, 2, 3, 4. It's divided into 5 pieces. So each piece each piece in here represents 1/5. So counting down, there will be a negative 1/5, negative 2/5, a negative 3/5, a negative 4/5. So the answers here for part A represents the fraction negative 4/5, and for B represents the fraction negative 1/5. So start over. So we see the graph here. They give us where 0 is located right here, and they give us where negative 1 is located. We see that it's divided into pieces. So how many pieces is it divided into? It's divided into 1, 2, 3, 4. It's divided into 5 pieces. So each space in here represents 1/5. 5 pieces, each space, these are parts of it, each piece is 1/5. So starting from 0 here, going down, it'll be a negative 1/5, that's one piece. Going down 2 would be a negative 2/5. Going down 3, a negative 3/5 here. And going down 4, negative 4/5. And here we will have a negative 5/5, which is a negative 1. So for A, it's going to be a negative 4/5 here. And for B, it's going to be a negative 1/5. And that's how you do question number 5. Number 6, they ask us to simplify it. So I'll simplify. In this case here, I have 10 plus 2/3. So I have 10 and 2/3, and here I have 7 and 6/7. Okay, then I convert each fraction to an improper fraction. So I have 3 times 10, which is 30, plus 2 is 32. So here on top I have 32/3. Here I have 7 and 6/7. 7 times 7 is 49. 49 plus 6 is 55. Okay, so I have 2 improper fractions. So what I'm really have a division bar here. So I'm dividing. So when you divide by a fraction, you have to multiply by it. Dividing by 2 is the same thing as multiplying by 1/2. So I multiply by its reciprocal here, and I flip it, the second fraction. Okay. Then I multiply across, see if anything simplifies, nothing cancels out. Okay. He says you don't need to reduce it. So you end up with 224 over 165 for your final answer, which is what I have here. And that was number 6. Number 7. Which is the following statements is true? Select all that apply. 10 is a multiple of 10, goes into 10. If 2 numbers are prime, then the least common multiple of is the product of the 2 numbers. For example, 2 is a prime number, 3 is a prime number. So the least common multiple of the 2 numbers is 6. It's the product of the 2 numbers. That's true. Because the smallest number is 6. Divide, write your answer in lowest terms. So we first look at this problem. We have a negative divided by a negative. So a negative divided by a negative is going to be a positive number. So I'm dividing a fraction, so it's the same thing as multiplying by its reciprocal. So I flip the second fraction. So we only cancel things that are being multiplied. Here, you couldn't cancel when you're dividing. You only cancel when you're multiplying. We cancel factors. So the 4's cancel out. Okay, and the negative times the negative will make it positive. So I'm going to have 9 on the top and 21 on the bottom. Now this simplifies. 9 and 21 are both divisible by 3. So 9 divided by 3 is 3, and 21 divided by 3 is 7. And that's our final answer here. this is another one here. Okay. Following the order of operations here, going from multiplication. We don't have any parentheses, don't have any exponent. We do have multiplication division. We are applying the order of operations rules over fractions. So our answer could be a fraction. All right. So we start out here. We're dividing. You end up multiplying by the reciprocal. So I flip this fraction. 7/6 becomes 6/7. So I can see that the 7's cancel out. And I'm left with 6/9 times 11/6. Here the 6's cancel out. And I'm left with 11/9 for our final answer. And that was question number 9. Number 10. The reciprocal of -6/7, when you've changed position, the order here is a -7/6. And they ask us to subtract the following lengths. Okay. So we have 20 feet 5 inches minus 15 feet 10 inches. So when you look at this right here, I have the feet here and I have the inches here. I can't take away, using whole numbers here, I can't take away 10 from 5, so I have to borrow 1. Okay. So I'll take 1 away from the 20. So when I take 1 away, I have what? Well, I have 1 feet and 5 inches. So what I really end up here with is I took 1 away from the 20, so I have 19. I have the 19, and I have 1 foot is 12 inches and 5 inches. And I have here, what's that? 15 feet 10 inches. So when I subtract, I'm going to have 19 feet 17 inches, and I'm going to have 15 feet 10 inches, which gives me 4 feet 7 inches. Okay, so I had to borrow 1. So when I took 1 foot away here, in inches, that's going to be 12 feet 5 inches. Okay. In fact, I should change that a little bit to say this. Implies that. So when we do that, we can rewrite it. Okay. And it's number 11. Let's take a look at number 12. Subtract. They have different denominators. We can only, when you're subtracting, they have to have the same denominator. Okay. So in this case, my LCD is going to be that's the smallest number that 6 and 7 will go into. All right. So 6 goes into 42. 6 goes into 42 7 times. 7 times 5 is 35. 7 goes into 42 6 times. 6 times 4 is 24. So those are our equivalent fractions. They have the same denominator, so we can rewrite it. We have 35 minus 24 over 42, which is 11 over 42. And the next one here, number 13, the last one. Add They have different denominators. In this case, my LCD is going to be 4. LCD, my mistake, is going to be 8. So I have 3/8 plus, what can I multiply this by to make it 8? 2. So multiply it by 1. I have 2 over 2, which gives me 3/8 plus 12/8, which is 15/8, which is equal to 1 7/8 for my final answer there. And that's the last one that I have. Okay, and